Greetings, one and all. As you can see, part two. I'm all ready. I'm poised, and I'm gonna play the best bit first. Okay, here goes.
You're entering a natural mystic zone. No penny, them I never walk alone. Ancestors better them a natural mystic zone. Blessed enough to know I never walk alone. Stay rising.
Greetings, one and all. Yes, this is I am Natural Mystic, and I am bouncing back. I hope you all are too. So we are back with part two, with a kind of reaction, response / critique conversation with the gentleman Sarah Garvey and one of his more recent videos where he's discussing older men and younger women. So let's just get into this part. Let's just get into it. Yeah. Let's hear what he has to say. Inquiring minds would like to know.
A lot of women are getting into their 30s and 40s and finding themselves single. Very single. And a lot of women are not happy with this.
Oh, sorry. Should we make him smaller for a minute? Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's just stick him there for a minute. Where's this survey coming from? That's what I would know. Who's he talking to? As I said in my previous video, tagged below, and so is Mr. Sarah Garvey's full video will also be in the description box below. And before I forget, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But where is his information research coming from? Is this a personal perspective, or this is something that he's been going around asking women in their 30s and 40s? And the other thing that's from the first video, what caliber of woman in their 30s or 40s is he talking to? What have they done? Where are they going? Where have they been? What are they doing now? But I'm not unhappy. Far from being unhappy without having a man in my life. I don't need a man in my life in order to make me happy. A man should be adding to my existing happiness, not there to create happiness. Let's press on. We're going to get through this video tonight. We're not going to be dragging this one out tonight at all.
They're actually not happy with this. But it's actually what's going on. The men that are in their 40s, 30s, late 30s, 40s, are just not looking for women who are that old. And so women in their 30s and 40s have a decision to make. They're going to have to, what they call, lower your expectations, maybe. Because a lot of women that are in that age bracket.
Wait a minute, wait a hot minute, brethren. Lower my expectations. In regards to what? The age of the person that I'm gonna be looking to potentially. Let me continue listening before my mouth get ahead of me.
Are looking for men their age of a certain caliber, let's say. I mean, Kevin Samuels talks about this all the time about high value men. I'm not even talking about a quote unquote high value.
What the Ross is a high value man, by the way, and a high value woman. What in regards to finances, status, what they're doing in the community, how they're benefiting people around them. Are they? I'm allow that Mr. Samuels. Yeah, just allow him. He's not part of my world. He's not part of my conversation. He's not the type of man that would go for me. I'm not the type of woman who would go for a type of man like that. In regards to Kevin or Mr. Samuels, I'm being respectful. He might find me quite abrasive, a little bit outspoken. definitely not representing him the way he would want me to represent being by his side as a woman in regards to body, maybe conversation, appearance. All right, I know that I don't come on here and dress up, but I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I've got a busy lifestyle that I enjoy, that I love. And right. So let me just make a disclaimer before I go any further. Yeah, I'm definitely 100% an honest woman when it comes to my status. Yeah, and I say that I choose to be single. I get offers of going out on dates. I get offers to pursue certain things with men, and I choose to not partake in that. I opt out. I tell them from the beginning, I'm really not in a position to support, be involved, develop, nurture a relationship with anybody outside of myself at the moment. I spent a long time in relationships with others not even knowing who I was, what I liked, where I wanted the relationship to go other than the bedroom or in between the sheets or on the sink or whatever it is you want to call it. So that's just me. That's where I'm at. But I'm going to continue to listen to this because I could go on for hours, as you know.
Value man. I'm just talking about men of your age bracket, women in your late 30s and 40s are going for younger women. And that's the unfortunate situation that you find yourselves in right now. Sorry, what someone said here? Most women in their 30s got kids or divorces. Single, older men with no baggage don't want somebody else's. And that's another issue. I myself was in a relationship with a woman for 10 years who had a child for somebody else. So I both raised my child with her and her child. And I have to decide now in my 40s as a single man, whether or not I want to get with a woman in her 30s that has the same baggage.
Right. Okay. So I see where you're going with this. You're calling your children baggage. And you don't want to upgrade your Samsonite baggage, for example, for your Louis Vuitton. But I don't like the word baggage to describe children. I don't like the word kids to describe children either. I don't think women and men are, well, women aren't goats, but some men like to ram, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so we'll just keep it moving. My dark sense of humor. So this is where I get confused because I'm a woman in my 40s who doesn't have children. So throughout my whole dating life, whether it be childhood or adulthood, now that I think about it, all the men I've been involved with have all had children. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, but it's different for when a man's got children compared to when a woman's got children because the children don't live with the man. But they do come and visit, they do spend time, they do phone, they do stay, maybe not 24/7 around the clock, but I still as a woman have to make allowances in my relationship for a man who has a child. I don't want his baggage. And then you get the other side of that where the woman's just like, don't make her think she can be a children to my mum because I'm here. And then I've got to deal with the whole, I don't like using this terminology, baby mama drama, because they seem somehow, I'm not come to replace them. I can't. The children came out of you. I'm not there for your children. I'm there for him. If he's happy, then you're happy, then the children are happy. So I've got a very important role to play as a woman when I'm involving myself with a man who already has children. And so it's kind of the norm, should we say, for a man to involve himself with a woman who has children, because the majority of women have children. So if you're looking for a woman of a certain age, a certain caliber, a certain status, a certain criteria that you're checking boxing, and you don't want to take on a woman who has children from existing relationships, regardless of their age, then you need to find women who don't have children, number one. And then if you're going to get yourself involved with a younger woman, because that's what men in their 40s go for after all, that's what you just said, then you also then need to look for women who are in their 20s and 30s who also don't want children. There are people in this world who actually don't want children, men and women. But just because it's commonplace for everybody to have a child, and everybody thinks that they're entitled to have a child and they're going to have children. It's not until you realize that you can't have them or you're not going to have them do you take on a different perspective in the world. I'll just leave that there. And the fact that he's now talking about his own relationship, and anyway, let's continue.
Who has the same quote unquote baggage. And a lot of men are opting out of raising someone else's child. They're opting out of going with an older one with all that baggage, and they're actually going for more younger women. And younger women are just, there's so many. There are so many.
Bunch of shy. Of course, that you just 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago, whatever it was, you were just saying that older men are going for younger women because of children and starting again and the vibrancy and a bouncy body and all of that lot. And then you're writing off older women because they've got children and their bodies aren't so great and you want to upgrade to a new model. And now you're being confrontational and even argumentative within your own conversation by saying that men don't really want to go for younger women, but they do go for younger women. And because it's just about aesthetics. It's got nothing to do with baggage, because that younger woman at some point is going to want to have children. So unless you want to be in your 40s and 50s and raising a baby again, and then you're in the position where you're potentially becoming a granddad, depending on when you had your children, do you want to be a dad and a granddad? Do you want your children to be younger than your grandchildren? This is all a bit twisted in my mind. He don't sound like he knows what he wants, really, or what he's advising. I'll be honest, yeah. If you really wanted to actually speak to somebody about this, speak to someone directly. Like, I'm going to speak to men here. Men, please stop telling women what it is we want and how we should behave, and then using your own opinions and your own experiences to tell other men what they should be doing and what they should want. My advice to everybody, men and women, is speak to individuals, speak to each other, find out what each other wants from the beginning. You don't need advice from a third party. You don't even need advice from me. But I'm not coming on here and criticizing men and women and putting values on relationships and talking about when, should, how, what. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to leave that there.
Male women have 47, 48, 49, etc. properly on it, but it's not for me. I don't date or see women older than around 35. Exactly. Older men are going for younger women. But then the question now becomes, what are these older women going to do? And this is why we see a lot of the in the what they call the manosphere, and the Kevin Samuels, the women that Kevin Samuels and a lot of the guys in the red pill community have conversations with are older women in their 30s who chose in their early 20s to YOLO, live their life, go crazy, do whatever. And then they get to the ages of about 30, 31, 32, 33. And now they're like, oh shit, where are all the men? And it's like, oh, there's loads of them. Trust me, there are a lot of men your age. They're just not going for you. That is the unfortunate situation that women of this age find themselves in. I don't actually know what older women are doing right now. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know.
I have to be blatant, frank and honest. Utter bullshit. What I'm hearing is utter bullshit. So what are men in their 50s and 60s going for? Duh. Who are they raving with? Who do they know? Like, this is what I'm saying, this whole conversation of speaking to someone who's 20, 30 years your junior and having to educate them. He said he didn't want to do all of that. But yet he's trying to convince you all that older women have been written off. Why is that? Does he find us too challenging, perhaps? Even me. Would he stumble across me one day and think, oh, maybe you can tell why you never got married and never had children and yada, yada, yada. It's got fuck all to do with my attitude. I tell you that much. But we're not going into the reasons why I'm not married or to the reasons why I haven't got children, or into the reasons why I actually choose to be single. I've actually got more younger men approaching me now. Like I said, I don't know if they're looking for breasts because me not have none. And like I said before, this milk doesn't dry up. So what are they approaching me for? What, a roof? Is it because it's winter? It's cold? They need somewhere to stay? No, I know myself. I live in a studio flat. My living room is my bedroom. This space is barely big enough for me, let alone inviting somebody into it to share it with them, regardless of their age. It's not going to happen. I know that, like I said before, I'm not in a position to be in a relationship. I'm only just learning to be in a relationship with myself. A few years ago, I didn't even think I would be sitting here conversating on YouTube or on any form of social media. I didn't think I'd be here at all. So for him to telling me that I'm now a write-off, maybe because what a man caused early on in my 20s. Oh, let's continue.
No, you're going to have to get a man where you can take him, ladies. And the young men I've heard are now wanting older women. He says wise feminine. Could be.
Sorry, as he said that, do you know what came into my mind? There's an old school tune, girl, man, I run you down, and I feel your fault. Take him, and then you're known as a whore, and a slag, and a dirtiness, and a miss gateway, and a miss techie, and a miss dash it, because you don't have no self-worth, no value, no more. And then when you get to an age where you want to marry and settle down, you done get right through like the town bicycle, so nobody don't want you. You see, we can't win. We can't win, ladies. Ladies, let me just put it there. We cannot win. You keep yourself to yourself as a youngster, then till you say you're stush. You think say you're nicer than everybody else. Why are we up for? Does it even work? This is how they convince you, ladies, to have babies. Does it work? Then they're all up in there. Once they discover that it works, they're like, well, yours works. Let me go and find out if somebody else's works. And then they go on and on and on until they get to a stage where they're too old. What happens when they get too old? They have a burger picnic out there, sir. A trailer load of baby mother behind them. Do they think that in my eyes that looks attractive? That is a whole heap of baggage you got there. A whole heap of baggage. I think I'm going to have to, anywho.
But when you speak to younger guys, and I speak to, men in their 20s, they're not really looking. They might want to have sex with an older woman. Don't get me wrong. But to settle down with one, a lot of the younger guys are probably not going to do that. And that's just being honest. Do you think you find many good old school women in the younger age group? When you say old school women, Mark Murray, what do you mean? There was YOLO in their 20s and 30s. Tell them to continue. Older women should get a guy older than them. Young men don't want to provide. Yeah, I guess older women need to get a guy who is, I don't know, 50s, 60s maybe. I don't know, because the older guys are dating down, and then we have these women in this age bracket from about 35 to 45 who are literally in limbo. They're in limbo. They can't find a guy for.
You know why you're saying that we can't find men? You know why you're saying that? Some of us looking, brethren. We're just not looking. It's got nothing to do with the quality of the men that are out there. It's got nothing to do with the quality of the men that are approaching us. Some of us are simply just not looking. I'm not on the market. I'm not on a shelf. Me not get dusty. Me I keep it real. I'm looking after myself. Do you know what I mean? Like this whole angle of timelines of when you're supposed to do stuff, and when it doesn't work out, you're just written off by society. It is such a warped way of thinking. What makes all you people think that have had children early, got it wrong early, party with your children now, you're young enough to raise the grandchildren because the parents can go off and do what, you know what I mean? Like your child, who's now a parent, can still go off and live their life, but you're still young, like, who says you've got it all right? Look at the way society is. What happened to tradition? What happened to marriage? What happened to waiting? What happened to saving yourself? Like, I'm not saying that that's what people need to do, but everything seems so disposable, recyclable, and come again. That's how it feels. And then once you've used it out, once you've spent your money on it and you're done with it, you just dash it away and cast it one side. And now it's just like, yeah, there's this huge disparity for 10 years. No, there isn't a huge disparity for 10 years. There really isn't. And I don't know where these statistics or what circle he has around him, in all honesty, that kind of reinforces his thought processes and his feelings, really. It's a bit...
Or, you know, love nor money. They've got good careers. They've probably got a child or two, and they can't find a guy who's looking for them. And that is the unfortunate situation. There are going to be a lot of single women out there. And there are a lot of single women out there complaining, just like the lady that I was speaking to. She was complaining that she can't find a man. And the guys that, again, the guys that are that age, my dear, they're looking younger. They're looking for younger women. I don't think many men in their 40s want to settle down, says Such Media. That could be an interesting one. I think they do. I think when men generally, or maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I think when men generally get to their 40s, they're ready to settle down. I think. A lot of older women with your man is vice versa. Sad. Okay. Older women can go for a younger man. Yeah, says Mr. They can go for a younger man, but what you'll find with a younger man is that he's more immature. He's probably less ready to settle down.
All right, we're going to kind of speed up through this a little bit in regards to where he's going. We're going to go like another 10 minutes into it from where we are and see if the conversation itself improves any. And yeah, younger men may just want us, or not us, but yeah, I include myself in the category of being that 40 plus bracket. They may just want us for sex, but have you ever thought that we in this bracket just want them for sex as well? And we don't want somebody to settle down with. We may have just come out of a long-term relationship. We may have just been divorced. So there's probably reasons why women of a certain age are feeling quite carefree, born again. Even after the menopause, a lot of men who are with women who are going through the menopause find it really, really tough. Whereas when she comes out on the other side of that experience and he's gone, she's now there living her best life because she's not worrying about all of that stuff happening down there anymore. She's certainly not getting pregnant. Do you know what I mean in that sense? So, and it's really strange that even I should even go there because this is something that he hasn't touched upon so far. STIs within the older community. Okay, I think it's a topic that he may need to actually investigate, and STIs within the younger community, which is higher, and why? Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot. He's only just got to 40, and I don't think he's lived as much of an exploratory, broad life as what I have personally. So maybe my perspective is warped because I've lived a little bit longer than he has. I've probably seen things slightly differently. It might have been involved in more relationships with men. So my perspective is slightly different. And as a woman, obviously, it's going to be different. But I don't like the way in particular that he's kind of talking down to us a little bit. Like I should feel small. Because of my status, you know, not having children, being single, being 45, and it makes me feel like as if he's particularly shunning us, not like society shunning us, because I'm certainly not getting that treatment from the men that speak to me or the way they speak to me. It's actually got more respectful the older I've got, regardless of their generation or regardless of their age. They've definitely got a level of respect. And even when they step to you and they want to kind of go down that route of intimacy or just having sex, there's a level of respect there. Yeah, there's immaturity. Of course there is. Men mature slower than girls. And that's from puberty. From the age of 10, 11, 12. There's a huge disparity between the maturity levels between the genders at that age. So it doesn't change as we get older. Women technically live longer than men as well. So going with a younger man means that he won't die before us and leave us lonely. Anyway.
We are starting to tailor-make our relationships because we don't necessarily want to adhere to the old ways of relationships. Sarah, what's that say? Sarah Garvey, are you looking for a woman at the moment? And if so, what crucial thing are you looking for in a woman? I wouldn't say I'm looking for a woman at the moment. I wouldn't say I'm looking. That's just me personally. I would say I enjoy women, but I'm not looking for a specific woman, if you catch my drift. No one is healing and wanting to start a new path that's healthy. It's true. Many of the younger generation of women do not want to play traditional role of wife anymore. True. Which is something most men want. Yep, women are becoming men and men are becoming women. Mark Murray, you hit the nail on the head there, my friend. You hit the nail on the head right there. I think the roles are changing. Roles are changing in society, folks. Like it's not like it was. We were sold the dream of, you know, the husband and wife and the white picket fence and, you know, the 2.4 children. And a lot of people have come to realize that that was just a dream. It was all a dream, as Biggie said. I used to read Word Up magazine. Would you ever get married again? Me, I don't see myself getting married, PJ. I'm not going to lie to you. I think tensions between the sexes is even bigger than racial. Ooh. I say as someone who dated a black girl, the problem was her attitude, not her skin.
Right. So as he's kind of going into a different kind of topic, and it's not just about older men, younger women, he's now going into kind of the race element as well and interracial race dating. I'm going to leave what we've seen so far where it is, and I'm just going to close with the following. There isn't a major issue in regards to the conversation that men and women are having. I think that the balance needs to be found in regards to where we are in regards to the sexes and the genders and the barriers and what we would look at as tradition and how society has actually changed. So going a little bit on a personal note, we've all heard that story of when a woman gets pregnant, she can apply for a council flat. The council will help her by herself. She'll get somewhere for her and her child. But if that man lives there, then she's stripped of all of her benefits. And that's the point. She's stripped of all of her benefits. Why is she on benefits? If you're looking to create a child with a man, I think the first thing that the two of you should be doing is whether the two of you can actually afford that child. I'm just going to make sure I can be seen. To make sure the two of you can actually afford that child. It's not a case of where women lay down with men and then they suddenly go, oh, I know what I can do. I can go into benefits as a source of income. If that's the thought process in regards to having children, then why is anybody having a child? That is just a horrible thought process. So yes, society has been slightly designed and it's been used and abused by women to do that. Yes, it has. And it's been encouraged to a certain extent for women to do that. Nobody's going to say that point blank, but I was part of it. Yeah, lived in council, social housing. We were told we would be able to move. And I remember certain things, you know, when my dad wasn't around, but he was around and then he was around. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm part of that whole generational society. But at no point did my mum ever think that she was a man and she was taking the place of the man in the household or the dad in the household. Fortunately for me, they got married. Do you know what I mean? So at least then it kind of legalized everything in the eyes of the law. You know, financially, social and benefits and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, different tax brackets, all that kind of thing. So, you know, it's just such a quagmire as to the way men feel that they've been slighted in you know, because of the way the system has been designed. But it's still in saying that you still chose to sleep with the woman knowing was what's going to happen. You didn't think about buying a house with her first. You didn't think about getting married first. You didn't think about doing anything prior to making that child, that financial, that emotional commitment, not even to the woman, but just to the child in general. And then on the back of that, guys, can I just say something here? This whole like woe be me thing when a relationship breaks down, where do you lot live? Where did you live prior to being with that woman? Did you leave straight from your mum's yard and go and live with that woman? Or did you just go from woman to woman to woman to woman? At what point do you take responsibility and accountability for actually finding a home for yourselves, putting a roof over your own head? You know, and then saying, oh, but I've got too many mouths to feed. Well, see, that's the problem therein, isn't it? Basically, is that you haven't thought the process through. So, you know, rather than thinking, like I said, with the eye that's actually between your legs, like Cyclops, actually started thinking with what's up there in that head with these two eyes, and actually looking at what it is you're doing to yourselves as well. I'm not here to bash women, not by any means, and I'm not here to bash men. I'm just saying how I see it from my perspective, and listening to Sarah's perspective in regards to I'm already written off. Do you know what I mean? It's just made me kind of go, really? What, you know, I was already written off, just like I said, because I haven't got children or can't have children or won't have children. That's a whole different conversation. But it's this whole given that people think that they're entitled to certain things in life and entitled to be treated a certain way and entitled to have children. This entitlement that it is that we feel, oh, it's a very selfish way of looking at things as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to leave that there. Do you know what I mean? But I really do wish men would step up. I want to see men with mortgages, or I want to see men with, I'm not saying that. And it's like arguing, oh, do you know how long it took me to get a council place? I had to take the child from the mum in order to put the name on the list and ready. Oh, yeah, wow. Congratulations. You got a council place. And again, why do we feel entitled and proud to have a council place? I'm not fucking proud of this. I had a mortgage many moons ago, but I wasn't able to keep that due to the man that I was with because he was so short-sighted. But we're not going to go there. But the fact of the matter is that, you know what I mean, I don't feel entitled to a council property. It's nice to have a roof over my head. Yes, I'm entitled to a roof over my head. Like, oh, why don't you go private and all of that? Well, it's expensive and I don't earn enough. Simple as. Not many people do. And I'm not going on benefits. I've been on benefits. See, there's so many layers in regards to my own life as to why I'm in my situation. And that's exactly why I'm not in a position to date or go out. I don't want to bring anybody back here after going out with them and chilling and all that lot. Furthermore, I don't even want to cook for anybody else and wash up and pick up their dirty drawers and all that. I'm done. I've done that. I don't want to do all of that no more. So what is it for me personally that men are offering? That's what I'm saying. What are you offering? I don't want your sperm because I don't want children. I don't want your money. I make my own. I don't need somewhere to live because I've got my own roof. Like, what are you adding to my life? If I want to go on a date, I'd take myself out. If I want to go to a restaurant, if I want to have a conversation, I've got people there. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. What are you lot offering? I'm not asking you for anything. I'm just asking you what it is you have to offer that is going to make me feel like a better person, or it's going to add value to my life. And if you can't answer that, or you can't find yourself weaving your way into my life to make yourself valuable, make yourself important, make me feel like you're worthy of my time, energy, and love, then I'm going to continue to give it to myself. That's all I have to say.